Warmer today. I'll take it. I noticed something today that used to trigger me, but it doesn't anymore, and it surprised me. And this has to do with being in a relationship and my lovely girlfriend and what she does for work. I think, I've heard many stories about how a lot of the boyfriends to my girlfriend's coworkers, they don't let them do this type of profession, and it's an amazing profession. It should be in the Olympics. I've tried a few classes, and it's the hardest thing in the world. So my girlfriend is a pole fitness instructor, and she's badass. Like badass. Like a couple years ago, she was ranked like top 15 in the world. Kick-ass body. But with this job, she teaches students all the time throughout the week, younger kids, middle-aged people, guys, girls, everyone. And you don't wear very much. You don't wear much because you need to be able to grip the pole with your thighs and the back of your legs and all that stuff, right? And today she was teaching a class, and it was from it's with a bunch of people from our gym. It was a lot of guys, it was a lot of girls, but they decided it'd be a really cool idea to head to her gym and take a pole class. And I thought it was the coolest idea, and I was so for it. And I haven't thought about it all day. And she texted me and said it went amazing, and I was so happy for her. And it's just super cool to get all the people from our like bodybuilding gym to go take a pole class and get in their underwear and go try something that a lot of these people have never done, and get instructed by my girl, who's again a superstar. But I remember when we first started dating about a year and a half ago, for the first few weeks, it did kind of bother me when I didn't know what to take of it, and I felt this tension, and I felt a little bit of this insecurity, watching my girl pretty much in her, I'm talking like underwear, because they wear these uniforms that are just, they're very revealing. And she's from Europe, so it's more common, and I feel like in Europe to be a little bit more revealing and just kind of your body, less clothes, is a little bit more accepted. Here in America, not so much. The first few weeks of us dating, I remember I just kind of felt some sort of tension, some sort of unease within me of, I didn't know if I liked the fact that she was in her underwear, pretty much, teaching. It was just kind of weird. You bend over and you can, I swear, you can almost see shit, And I come from a background of being very insecure in my relationships and jealous and toxic. And when I met my girlfriend, she was doing this, and I'll be honest with you, the relationship is built on trust, and the foundation is loyalty and trust and communication. So I got over that uneasy feeling of what she did very easily, but there's a lot of guys that I've heard of, because she has a lot of friends that do pole, right? And a lot of the guys either hate that their girlfriend gets up there on the pole and performs and does what she loves to do. By the way, again, it's an incredible sport that requires so much strength and balance. I've been in sports all my life. I've been a bodybuilder. I'm in great shape. I'm telling you guys and girls, there's nothing like someone who can do a flag on a pole or hang upside down from one leg or do the things that I've seen her do. It should be in the Olympics. I would vouch for it every day, all day long. But I've heard of a lot of guys that don't even allow their girlfriends to compete or participate in pole fitness. I'm not talking about stripping. I'm talking about literally the sport of pole, because it is very revealing. Again, these girls they're not wearing very much when they do this, because you can't. You need to be able to grip the pole with your lower back and your upper thigh and areas like that. And I noticed today, I was so cool. I thought it was so cool, and there was zero tension. And I'm so happy that I've come to this point in my life where I don't feel that, because as a guy, when you have those uneasy feelings and you may feel kind of insecure, I think it's important to realize, like, you can blame whatever you want to blame, but I'm telling you, the best way to just, I guess, get over it or just feel comfortable with yourself is to point the finger at you and say, like, hey, why are you feeling insecure about your girl doing this? You know, I see so many guys not letting their girls do it, and now I'm just like, bro, like, why are you so insecure about this stuff, you know? And everyone has their reasons. I'm not discrediting their feelings. Their feelings are very valid for whatever possible past traumas, relationships they've been in, and how that can bleed over into this type of, you know, atmosphere, this type of environment of pull. But I guess I wish I had someone when I was younger to help me out with the insecurities that may come with dating a beautiful woman and what she does for work, who she hangs out with. You know, as long as there is that trust and communication, and that's the foundation of your relationship, there should be no issues. And if there is any tension, I think it's important to point the finger back at yourself and really ask yourself why you're feeling this way. I know I was feeling some sort of tension and like just like it felt toxic, honestly, you know, and I projected that on her. I feel like it was because of my childhood trauma and what I've witnessed with my mom and my dad, and the cheating that was kind of going on, and me being a part of that when I was a little kid. And so it kind of bled over into my relationships, where I wouldn't trust the girl, and I would be more controlling and possessive. And man, life is so much better when you don't hold those things in your heart, and you're able to work on yourself enough that things like that don't bother you. Again, the basis of that strength for me, between me and my girlfriend, does come from a very strong foundation of trust and communication and loyalty, and that does take time to build. But give it time to build and work on it, because if you continue the pattern of this insecure, kind of immature thought process of whatever your girl's doing that makes you insecure, and like I just, you know, I need to say, like, if your girlfriend's like doing things that are wrong and you know, like cheating or whatever it is, that's wrong. I'm not saying that's okay, but in my example and what I've seen, sometimes as guys, we see our girls participate and do things where we think it's like they shouldn't be doing it, and really there's nothing wrong with it. And it's part of our nature as guys to want to be protective and, you know, a little bit possessive of our woman. I mean, it's in our biology, right? It's just who we are as men. So it's very natural, but I think there's a fine line, and I think you really need to work on having that sense of security within yourself, and being okay with what's happening and what your partner is doing. You know, I think that's so important, because there's some guys out there who are okay and secure with their girlfriends being actual in the club and dancing, you know, like, so for me to hear, you know, some of my girlfriends' friends, boyfriends, not letting them compete in pole. Like, this is a sport. She travels the world, she competes, she gets trophies, she kicks ass. And to hear some of these stories I hear from the husbands and the boyfriends of, like, I'm not letting you get on that pole because I feel uncomfortable with you on that pole. Of course, they never say that, but that's the reason. So I guess, you know, this video is for any younger man or even older guy that still deals with some sort of jealousy or insecurity within your heart about your wife or your girlfriend or your partner. Just know it, I'm telling you, it's easy to start pointing the finger and projecting onto others, but it's a sticky point that's probably within yourself, that you should take responsibility and work on. Because once you do start to break those patterns, or once you do work on this, you just have one less thing to worry about. You know, life is hard, is difficult, and I feel like it's tougher as you age. And That's one less thing you need to not have on your shoulders, is that insecurity when your girl leaves the house and does whatever she's doing. And if you trust this girl and you know she's loyal and you guys are communicating, let her have fun, man. Let her live her life, you know. You got to be okay with whatever happens, and you got to be okay with inside you. I think that's the most important thing. But yeah, I was sitting back today, I'm like, damn, I'm stoked for her, like, let's go. You know, and again, this only bothered me a few weeks into our relationship. It was just so brand new for me to see her twirling around in her underwear. Oh my gosh, in front of people, you know, it's like, it's very revealing, you know. But that's a direct reflection of my background and how I was raised and what my mom told me growing up. That's where these feelings of me feeling insecure or some type of way about what she was doing. It has nothing to do with my kick-ass girl, man. But yeah, I hope this video helps. So whatever situation you can relate this to, whatever mirror you felt that I held up during this video, I hope it helped. I hope it helped, and I hope I'm not overstepping, and you know, I want to help, you know, and that's why I'm making these videos, because if someone could just walk with me through this and maybe not even give me advice, just sit down with me and just walk with me through these struggles and reframe some things, and the way I wish my father did if he was alive at the time, or I had an older brother or a friend to do this for me, I think it would have saved me a lot of pain and a lot of sorrow and a lot of misery, and yeah. But here I am. I'm doing a lot better. So I love you guys, and I hope this helps. I'll see you guys in the next one.